Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you. Old faces and new. Today we are talking about lead generation. It's my birthday. Thank you very much. You may continue to regale me with your gifts of kind words and sincere flattery. Thank you. I am feeling relaxed, happy, comfortably full after a wonderful lunch. I had a delicious nap this afternoon and I have an elderflower cocktail waiting for me downstairs. So we will keep this to the point. What is a lead? What is a lead? Give me your ideas. What's a lead? Tell me in the chat. Let me see if I can see the chat. That will be good. What's a lead? A lead is somebody who's interested in your work. Yeah, Susan, exactly. We've been working together for a while. You know, a lead is somebody who is interested in your work. A lead can be an existing client. If you have one offer that your client has purchased from you and then you have another offer, your client can be a lead for your other offer. A lead is anybody who is interested in working with you, however far along the conversation they are. And in marketing, we tend to refer to a spectrum of leads from cold leads to hot leads. A cold lead being somebody who has only just become aware of your offer and your solution, somebody who has just entered your world, and a hot lead being that bitch who is just about to sign, just about to close the sale, and she's just keeping you on the edge and just edging you and playing with you and hasn't quite signed yet, right? So we're on the spectrum. There's a spectrum from cold leads to hot leads. And most people, if you're doing a job of showing up on your social media and nurturing relationships, most people in the middle there are warm. They're hanging around. They're warm to you. They're warm to you. They like you. This has been coming up a lot in the last week. I think I'm feeling loved. Imagine. What is a lead? So we've talked about what a lead is. If you want to get really into the jargon, we can talk about marketing qualified leads and sales qualified leads. So a marketing qualified lead is anybody who has responded to your marketing, everybody who says, yes, I am interested in your work. A sales qualified lead is somebody who has said, not only am I interested in your work, but I've indicated that I am interested in actually working with you and I have the means to do so. I'm in the market for your solution. So as we go through this talking today, you're going to realize that like all of these activities in marketing that we're always talking about, lead generation and audience growth can and do overlap. Lead generation and audience engagement can and do overlap. There's a lot of similarities and they overlap. So even if you never did audience growth as an activity and only ever did engagement and lead generation, your audience will still grow. It will probably grow at a slower rate than if you were in an active audience growth, actively pursuing audience growth strategies, but it will still happen as a side effect. So where to look for leads? The first and most important place to look for leads is within your own client list. People who have worked with you in the past, people who are working with you now. Oh, let me see if I can let somebody else in. Your warmest, your hottest pool of leads are people who have already worked with you and already experienced the results that you can deliver. So if it's still the same offer, can you find people who would benefit from repeating the process? Because if you think of it, if you can hold on to 100% of your clients, you'll probably need to do much less marketing, right? So if you can, as you know, I'm very anti keeping on creating new offers, but if you can find interesting and effective and straightforward ways to keep your clients on as clients rather than just releasing them to the wild at the end of every contract, you're making your marketing job much easier because you have fewer new people to find. And there are businesses that only grow through client retention and word of mouth. Client retention and word of mouth. So once you've looked at your client list, your past and present clients, the next place to look is within your own audience before going further afield. And what I mean by that is it is your marketing content that creates leads. It is not audience growth. Audience growth is important, but if you're not doing this lead generation piece with the audience that you have, it's important to have that happening first, because even if you are brand new in business and just started posting about your offer on your personal profile yesterday, you have an audience, you have an existing audience. So it's your marketing content. It's that's the headline. Your marketing content creates leads. But I'm not going to leave it at that. We're going to go into a lot more detail about what kind of marketing content. And I want to give you about maybe 15 minutes of daily tasks and an hour or maybe 90 minutes of weekly tasks, so that you can create a lot of momentum in your marketing in just about 2.5 hours a week. And then any additional social media time beyond that's on you. That's your dopamine addiction. I mean, it's me as well, naturally, but all of the core tasks can probably be done in about 2 hours a week. I'm going to come to the timing of it in a bit. So the most effective type of marketing content that you can create to generate leads is proof, social proof. And if you don't already have banks of testimonials, consider it your primary mission to get proof. Initially proof that what you do delivers the results that you say it does. And then that your particular offer or program or class or membership gets the results that you say it does. So you need to get proof. So before and after pictures, stories of transformation, screenshots of wins or synchronistic stories, testimonials, video testimonials. Get the proof and share it. And then your audience understand that if they want something similar, they join in. That can be stated as an explicit call to action. If you want to experience the same results as Janet and John did, get in touch and I'll tell you how they did it. How do you get proof? You ask your clients. You ask them very regularly from as soon as they become clients. Don't wait till the end of the program. We've all been in group programs, particularly evergreen group classes. We've all paid for things that we haven't seen through. And by the time it gets to the end, our energy has kind of fizzled. And it's on the business owner to try and maintain that energy throughout, right? So don't wait until the end to ask people how it was for them. Ask them when they're in a high, because on any journey, there are going to be highs and lows, right? So you don't want to ask for testimonials only at specific times when you might meet somebody when their energy is at a low ebb. Ask for those testimonials and those recommendations and those videos when they're on a high. One really simple way to get proof is ask your clients, what has been your biggest win this week? What has been your biggest win this month or since our time together? What's been the biggest transformation? And then take screenshots and share them. And when you do come across somebody who's had a big win, ask them for a video testimonial. Most people who don't have testimonials and recommendations and video, you're just not asking. And if you're brand new, that does mean that you need to do a little bit of work to get that proof, to get those testimonials. It does mean that you need to, you probably need to offer your services or your program for free or super low cost just to get that proof. There's nothing more important for your marketing than results. because that is what, there's a lot of, I don't know if you've noticed, there are a lot of digital businesses. There are a lot of online businesses in the social media space. And there's a lot of tricksters, and people are savvy, and they want to know from a third party that your work does what it says it does. Okay, so get the proof. The most important kind of content that you can share. The next the next type of content that I recommend you post is kind of educating or shifting a perspective. That can be like a long form thing describing a process that you take, that you walk clients through, or it could be just like a little golden nugget of information. This kind of content actually rarely does create leads. It's still very valuable for positioning you as an authority. But one tip to increase the likelihood of getting inquiries off the back of it is just to add context. And to add context in the form of a client story. And this directly relates to what we were just talking about as proof. But in this case, you're using your words. So you will explain a concept or a perspective shift, and then give it some context, such as Elizabeth was struggling with this until she implemented my solution and this brilliant outcome. So that's like a sneaky way of getting some more proof in there. And proof is the key driver for action from your content. It's the main thing that is going to motivate people to reach out and ask about working with you. There are other ways of lead generation that we're going to come onto, which are less of a direct interaction, but these ones about proof and sharing your expertise in the context of somebody else's story are the ones that I have found are most likely to generate just like people popping into your inbox and saying, I'd like to know more about working with you. The eagle-eyed amongst you will have spotted that the next type of content, I've spoken about these in the content creation workshop, which the replay is in the library there in the Mercury messaging section, I believe. But share your wider lifestyle, share your personal interests. Like if you are into guinea pigs or songbirds or botany of the British Isles or ponies, share about that, because your wider context makes you relatable. And it also does open you up to new audiences. People will be attracted to different things in your content. And as we keep coming back to you, people want to work with you because they like you and they find you interesting. And your personal interests and your wider context and your life outside of your business is a very big part of who you are and what is so likable about you. I encourage you to tell your story of transformation, showcase, this is another type of content. I guess you would call it some connection content, but also effective for generating inquiries. Is talking about your story of transformation, how you struggled, how you can relate to what people are going through, and relate to what they are going through now, what you were going through then, and talk them through the process that you went through to create the transformation that you now create professionally. Because when somebody sees something of them in you and they see you where they want to be, that creates motivation. And it also makes it really, really clear that nobody can offer the same results as you because nobody has been on the same path as you. We did talk about this. We have spoken about this previously. It is important to sometimes post about your actual product. We make the offers. That is a big lead gen tip. I'm coming on to some more stealth, undercover lead gen tactics, but don't forget the basics. Post your offer. A really simple post, breaking all the rules of the algorithm, just what it is, how it works, the results it creates, and the time frame. That's not something that you want to post every day. It's an infrequent thing, maybe a couple of times a month or weekly or something. But when it keeps popping up, the people who are really following your content, the people who are seeing everything, when it keeps popping up for them, it becomes part of your core content. And again, it is giving every single time your audience sees it, they might need to see it 7 times before they start to recognize, like have that ping of recognition when they see it coming up every month or every week, excuse me. But just think about, like, psychologically, what message does that send when somebody keeps seeing the same thing, keeps seeing the same core offer every week? It carries a message with it of stability, of reliability, of steadfastness, of longevity, of dedication, that you're going to be around, that you're into it, that you're dedicated to it, to this one thing. You're not always chasing the next shiny thing. This is the way. This is the way that your people need to follow you, to come with you, right? Because in order for somebody to purchase, I'm sure you've heard this before, I'm sure I've spoken about it before. In order for someone to purchase, there are a few conditions that need to be met. They need to be aware that aware that they have a problem, right? There's no point in talking to somebody who doesn't know that, who doesn't even recognize that there's a way out of their struggle. So they need to be aware of the problem. They also need to be aware of the solution, or aware that there is a solution. They need to be looking for a solution. In other words, they are in the market for a solution. They haven't gone, oh, well, this is just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. You're not talking to those people. So they need to be aware of the problem, they need to be aware of the solution, and they need to be aware of your specific solution. Not just aware that there is a solution that many people may be able to help them with. They need to be aware of your solution, and your solution basically boils down to what they get, the time frame for it, and like the process, like how it works, what you do. So again, this is an infrequent post, but it is part of your core content to just talk about your offer over and over again, including that like super simple thing. So I'm wondering why to talk about the social media thing. No, post about your offer. Like you can post about it frequently. But just that, like, very simple, like, here's the offer, here's the outcome, here's the time frame, here's the process. I'm saying post that, I don't know, once a week or something, once every couple of weeks. If you're actively in a promotion period, post about your offer all the time. If you're actively in a promotion period, post about it as much as you can stand to, unless you're using some of these other, alongside using some of these lead gen techniques. So I want to just talk very briefly about daily and weekly social media lead gen tasks. Oh, actually, maybe I'll do that at the end. So let's look at lead generation beyond your daily social media content, because I don't want you to be spending hours and hours every day on social media. I would rather you spend 15 minutes writing one short post a day, and then these 15 minutes of tasks that I'm going to suggest for you shortly. But let's look beyond the social media piece to some other things you can do specifically to generate leads, which really is an ongoing thing, right? The more leads you want, if you want consistent leads, you do consistent lead gen. You can do it organically, which we're going to talk about. You can do it using paid ads, which we're also going to talk about. But it's just like, if you're not selling, you're not going to sell. If you're not doing lead generation, you're not going to generate leads. Okay, so here are some things you can do. Free challenges, a 3-day challenge, a 2-day challenge, a 5-day challenge, a free experience of you can call it something else. You can call it an adventure or an experiment. You can call it anything. Very very good opportunity, treat it as a long tail opportunity to get new people into your audience who are interested in a specific topic. If you select a topic that is directly aligned with your core offer, only the people who are interested in your core offer or who pretty closely match your ideal client for your core offer are going to sign up. With all free events, getting people to actually show up can be challenging, but very often getting them to show up is not the ultimate objective of the exercise. Like, that's a bonus. The challenge was to get people to join your list and indicate that they're interested in the topic, right? So if you measure it by, if that's your objective, then people joining the list is a measure of success, not how many people show up for the challenge, right? When you have a multi-day thing like that, especially if you design it with relationship building and relationship nurture in mind, it enables you to build relationships fast. You can, if you deliver a 15-minute class every day in a Facebook group, you have the perfect opportunity to message everybody who signed up for it and ask if they saw it and do they have any questions and would they like to talk to you about it? It builds relationships fast. And because it's a multi-day thing, lots of people think that you have to wait till the end to pitch your offer. You don't have to wait till the end to pitch your offer. You also don't have to pitch at all. You can run a free challenge just as a lead generation event and not pitch at all. Why you wouldn't, if your offer, if you're not feeling like, you forget. You're having a confidence wobble. If it's like either show up and don't pitch, then show up and don't pitch, because you've got those people interested. They've raised their hands and you can follow up with them after the event. Just like, don't make it a big deal. It's your event and you can do whatever you want. You can pitch people every day. You can pitch people on the first day. You can not pitch them at all and then follow up by email. Just be clear on what your objective is, and that it's to get people to indicate that they're interested in your work. And it actually doesn't matter. I mean, it's nice for your ego, it's nice for your metrics, it's nice for your vanity, it's nice for the general energy and buzz of the group if lots of people show up. But if the objective is signups to your list, then focus on that, right? And then you can follow up with everybody, whether they showed up or not, follow them up by email, follow them up by messenger, and engage them in conversation and make your offer after the event. Okay, so free challenges, paid challenges and events. You can also do, if you are offering a high ticket offer, so there are people who will jump straight from being never a client to a high ticket client. There are people who will do that. 100% there are. There are also lots of people who are interested in working with you, but would really value an opportunity to work with you on a smaller commitment first. So you will get a lower number of signups, but you will get a higher level of engagement. And you will also honestly need to promote the challenge. It's kind of like promote, if you're promoting something that's paid for, whether it's something that's free or something that's paid for, you still have to promote it. And a paid challenge is a bigger ask. So hence you'll get fewer signups, but higher show ups, because people have made that commitment. They've made a financial commitment. They've spent money on it, so they're going to show up to get the value. But you'll also find that they're high. The people who do show up are warmer. They've made a commitment to you. They're already a client. So it should be a smaller leap to then convert them into sales. So free challenges, paid challenges. Of course, these things are energy intensive. I am by now famous for creating 3-day challenges, which I reduced to an afternoon workshop. And I have noticed the difference when I do multi-day workshops with homework. I have noticed a difference in the engagement and the conversion rate of those exercises, of those activities. Okay. Another way of creating leads is to use a lead magnet. A lead magnet. Hence the name. It is a magnet for leads. So a lead magnet funnel like we are building out in Demand. So this would look something like you offer people a freebie, like a pre-recorded class, pre-recorded class or workshop or PDF or ebook or something lovely like that. And then you hopefully convert some of them straight off the top. As soon as they've seen the freebie, they're like, yeah, I want more of this. And for those who don't, they receive a whole long email sequence, which we're doing in our co-working sessions in Demand, which ultimately leads them to a sales page or a conversation or a DM conversation or whatever is your sales strategy. This lead generation activity works really well when you have a proven offer, that you know that your offer will sell. Even if you have only sold it a little bit, you know it will sell because you've sold it. And you have a lead magnet, which converts because people have asked for it. And crucially, you have to do the email part. You have to do the email part after people sign up for the lead magnet, and you have to nurture your people over time. It's profitable if you nurture the people who join your list to sell to leads over time, because everybody joining your list, everybody joining your audience, only at absolute most, 9 to 10% are ready to buy from you now. That means over 90% are not ready to buy from you now. So it's the long game of nurture that turns the lead magnet funnel, indeed, turns marketing as a whole, marketing as an activity in a whole, into a profitable one. You have to be playing the long game. So think of the lifetime value of a customer. Think of the lifetime value of a customer. So, which means so you only have one offer, and for the sake of easy maths, it's £1,000, and people pay you in 10 installments, 10 payments of $100. If you know that your client, that you can reliably convert your people joining your list at 2% or whatever, however many people are joining your list, 2% will become a customer in the first month after joining or week after joining. You can then reliably set yourself an ads budget so that people joining your program pay for their own acquisition in the first month of becoming a customer. Does that make sense? So if you're basically receiving £200 per month from new customers acquired by Facebook ads, you can essentially get your leads for free by diverting their first payment of £100 into Facebook ads, and the remaining £900 that they're going to pay to be your client will go to you, of course. But all the other people who join the list but don't convert straight away, the other 98%, you're getting them for free. Those two early action takers are paying for all of the acquisition of all of the other people who are joining your list and will convert into customers later. And what makes the difference between people joining your list becoming customers and not ever becoming customers is largely to do with your strategy for staying in touch with them, basically staying in touch with them. So a lead magnet funnel is great when you know what your offer is and are ready to put a lead magnet and let that part be kind of semi-automated, that part of welcoming somebody into your world with a strong, a really valuable lesson, a strategy to keep in touch with them and convert people into customers straight away, and a strategy to convert the rest of the people down the line. So that's the lead magnet funnel. Another way of generating leads is just doing a one-off live masterclass, much like a free challenge. I do these all the time, shorter, really difficult to get people to show up. But again, that doesn't matter if your goal is to create leads, to get people on your list, to get people to indicate that they are interested in a specific subject. And for those who do sign up, it's a great opportunity to pitch live again. So another idea is to create, just instead of a live masterclass and, doing the whole promo of it, you could equally, like, here's an idea, just create kind of a 3 to 5 minute version of the same training that you would do as a masterclass, and just offer it as an instant watch to anyone, no sign up. I've recorded a 3-minute training on this. I've recorded 5 minutes on that. Can I send it to you? And just send people the link. You upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video and just send anybody who wants it the link. They don't have to sign up to your list. You just generating leads in your DMs on your social media, and then circle back and pick up the conversation with those people again. And you can do that that doesn't have to be video. It can be, podcast episodes. It can be, a PDF of something you've written, a Google Doc of something you've written. It can even be a voice note. All of these things that we've talked about get people to show you who is interested, and to get people onto your list, get people into your Facebook friends list, get people into your Facebook group, get people onto your CRM, your marketing list of leads, your leads list. So any of these activities you do, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's live challenges, whether it's live webinar, live workshops, whatever you do, it's really important to check the investment, see what's happened a week and a month after the event. See if you can see an uptick in your income, basically, in the number of clients on your books, but also check after 3 months and 6 months and 9 months and 12 months, because you will have people join your list and then become clients a year or 2 years later. So you don't always see the return on the investment immediately after the event. It's a long game. I'm sorry to tell you, it is a long game. There are some things that you can do to create urgency around your offer. As you know, I love for people to set up a program so that you can enroll people into it at any time. There are so many benefits to structuring your offer that way. That's the way I encourage people and teach people to set up their offer after they've run it like the first time. And the challenge it gives you is creating time. Is creating urgency. If you have a cohort program, you have a definite end date when you have to close the doors because you're starting on Monday. Whereas if it's an evergreen program, there's always a reason for people to delay and say, I'll just join next month, or I'll join after the summer, or I'll join in the spring. And their enrollment time just keeps pushing out and out and out. And then, just like the fire goes out of it, the motivation goes out of it, the spark and the drive to join in can kind of go out if they're hanging around too long. So always trying to come up with reasons for people to buy now. So a couple of ideas that you can use for that. So one very powerful example is to say, I only have capacity because your group offer, the way I teach it, includes a substantial live element so that people really get to experience your magic. But you say, I can only enroll 4 more people into this program next month, and I'm going to allocate those places based on who I think is going to get the most from it. So like limiting how many people you can take in, and then saying, I'm not going to do another enrollment for a couple of months. Another way of positioning it as an offer is like offering people to come in for half the price, but they get half the time. So instead of a 9-week program, instead of I can't do the maths. Instead of a 6-month program, it's a 3-month program. They pay half the price, but then once they're in, you're going to retain them as a client because you're always looking at how you can retain the clients you've got. So they will continue to pay, but this offer is only available for, the next 2 weeks or the next week or for this weekend only. You can join this program for half the price. You stay in for half the time, and you position it that this is for the implementers and the action takers and the people who are going to just get on and do the work straight away, because there are people who want to join you and the price genuinely is a barrier for them. And this is the way that they can get into the work. And will experience such incredible results that they will hang around, right? Just give me one moment. I just have to crack the window open a little bit more. Okay, so I said I was going to give you some daily tasks, daily 15 minutes. These are small things, but if you can take 15 minutes of dedicated time every lunch, just before you stop for lunch or just before you stop for the day or first thing, whenever, just fit it in. But if you can add just 2 or 3 people to your audience, I'm talking about your whole audience, doesn't even have to specifically be your list because you're going to give people so many opportunities to join your list. But if you can get 2 or 3 new people in your audience a day, that's over 1,000 in a year. Okay, so have a daily strategy. There are hundreds of strategies for audience growth. Any of them can work. So just pick one and stick with one. Just use one source, or at most one paid and one organic source. But okay, so that could be, we want a daily strategy, a daily 15 minutes to add followers, add people, get people in your audience, and nurture the relationships that you have. So on a daily basis, there's going to be weekly activities as well. But on a daily basis, that could look like adding friends or followers on your platforms, just friending people, sending out friend requests. You don't need to send a note, just hit friend request. I do not recommend indiscriminate friending, but, take a view, just have a look and send, I'm only talking about sending out 3 to 5 requests a day. Find people who have lots of mutual friends or in the same groups as you. Grow your audience. Another thing you can do is send invites to your group. You see the little invite linky link at the top of your Facebook group? Invite people. Again, you don't need to send a link, just click away. Don't try to do too much mind reading of people that you're sending to. They will join if they are interested, and if not, they will not. It is not your concern. Your concern is to invite as many people to the group as possible. So both of those things together will probably take 5 minutes. To send out 5 friend requests and then send 5 invites to your group, that would take 5 minutes at most. Post something on your social media profile. If you don't know what kind of post to post a lead gen social post, which I'm about to talk to you about. And the other task that you should do daily is follow up on engagement from either today's or depending what time of day you're doing it, but follow up on engagement. So people who have commented or commented on previous days' posts, follow up on the conversation, keep the conversation going in the comments, or go and engage on their content. Okay, so those are daily tasks, 15 minutes, 5 minutes to add friends and followers and invite people to your group. Okay, it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes to write a post and post it to your social profile, and 5 minutes to just some 5-word follow-ups to engagement that has happened on your posts. Okay, if you've got more time, spend more time. If you haven't, don't. If you only post one kind of thing, lead gen social posts are about starting conversations on the subject matter. Now, I'm sure you've all heard me talking about when we're making offers, offer posts on social media, to ask people to indicate their interest rather than posting a link and sending them directly off to a page. This is different. For lead gen social media posts, we are not saying, I've put together a group program that's going to help you with XYZ. Please let me know if I can send you details. That's not what we're doing here. We're asking people to indicate their interest in the subject, in the topic, in the challenge or the problem that you solve. We're asking people to indicate that they're interested in the context of your offer. So, for example, you might say something like, what difference would it make in your life if you had the outcome that you offer? Or what difference would it make if you understood the thing that you teach? Let's think, what would be another one? How do you find this challenge, this problem, this difficulty? How do you find this impacts your career or your relationship or your happiness? So can you see how these kind of questions encourage engagement? They encourage engagement because they're an open question. And they are easy to answer for your ideal client, okay? When we were talking about content, different types of social content, the different types to use, when we did the content creation workshop, we talked about engagement content. And a pure engagement content has a different purpose. A pure engagement post might be something like, tell me about a book that changed your life, right? So that encourages interaction on your profile, but it's not telling you who is interested in your work. It's telling you who's read a book that changes their life. It's still very good to post because it creates engagement and energy on your social media profile, but it's not giving you leads. Lead gen posts are similar in that I would like them to be very short, very punchy, on one of those lovely bright color backgrounds that Meta gives us to make them stand out. So they're very, very similar in that they're short, punchy, open-ended questions, and they only relate to your work. They're only questions for your ideal client. Yes? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that. Look at my profile. It's covered in them. You can see how I do it and do it the same. It's like a rash on my social profile. But they work because they let you know who's interested in your thing. So you can follow up on their comments. You can create conversation on the thread. You can say, do you mind if I jump into your DMs to share a little insight I've had? Every single person who comments on those posts goes on your list of leads. Like a rash, yeah. All the best things lead to rashes. How does the lack of shoulder mobility impact your freedom? Only people with limited shoulder mobility have an opinion on that. So everybody who answers is a potential client. Put them on your list. Does everybody know about the leads list? The leads list, I want you to have a simple spreadsheet with a list of the names of people who are interested in your work, because either because they've told you so directly or because they told you so indirectly by coming out on posts like this. So you're going to have a list of their name. You're going to have what offer or product you think would be perfect for them. And I would like you to note the date of your first interaction and your most recent interaction. That's another one of your weekly tasks, is maintaining this list. Daily, if you're promoting something. So that could be one of your daily. You can definitely fit that in. If you post on your social profile and you just do one of these questions, you can definitely fit all of those 4 things into 15 to 20 minutes a day. Time very well spent. So your weekly tasks, I would also like you to set aside an hour to 90 minutes once a week. These are higher input tasks and also higher output tasks. And they are follow up with all open conversations in your leads list. I should change my language and call this a CRM, because I want to teach you marketing language so that you are in control of your marketing, so that you can effectively eventually delegate your marketing and not be taken advantage of by unscrupulous agencies. So your weekly task is to follow up with all open conversations in your CRM, your customer relationship manager. That's your list. It's called your CRM. So you might be checking in with them. You might be offering them a little golden nugget of wisdom, a link to a post that you made this week, or a link to a little freebie, or inviting them to a class that you're running. Sometimes it's not appropriate. Sometimes it's like, gosh, I can't add anything to this conversation without coming across as a real weirdo. So I'm just going to leave them for another week and see what pops up. But just go through them all and see who you can follow up with, who you've forgotten about. Update your CRM with new conversations, new people you've started speaking to in the last week. And I want you to keep a running tally of how many people you've been in touch with in the last 28 days. And your target is for that number to go up. If you've been in touch with 7 people about your work in the last 28 days, see if you can grow it to 10 within the next week. That's only 3 more conversations this week. And using these posts, you'll get engagement. So your weekly tasks, these are going to be a little bit different for everybody. They're following up on open conversations and updating your CRM. That's for everybody. After that, it could be go live in your group for a 15-minute class, or it could be write a blog, or create a longer form piece of social media content. What do you want to do? What do you want to create for your audience that you can commit to on a regular basis? I don't want it to be a huge, make a YouTube episode. You're not going to fit that into an hour. But some value that you can give your audience that you can fit into an hour long, this hour long task. And another thing that's a really, really incredibly important thing to do, we talked about it right at the top, proof. If you can do this weekly, this is going to go a long way to helping you generate more leads. Share proof weekly with a call to action. So weekly tasks, following up on your CRM, updating your CRM, some piece of value for your audience, whether it's an email newsletter or a live video, something once a week, and share proof. Okay. Keep them visible, your daily and weekly tasks. Treat this seriously and just see if you can get your regular scheduled marketing activity down to 2 or 3 hours a week. There are going to be sprints. If you're promoting something specific, you're going to want to do more than 2 to 3 hours a week. You might want to do an hour a day if you're promoting something specific. But that is all those sprints. Or if you've been building a funnel, oh my God, I've been building out the funnel for demand. That's a chunk of work. It's a big piece of work, but it all is so much easier and so much more rewarding. You see so much more result from it more quickly if you have these foundational things in place, which is having more conversations with more people. So in demand, we're working to a 90-day goal for one offer, agreeing daily and weekly actions for lead gen. What content are you going to be posting? What is your one primary lead gen activity? Whether it's building a funnel, whether it's promoting a live event, whether it's doing a 5-day challenge, what's going to be your main lead gen activity, and how are you specifically promoting your offer this time? What angle are you giving people to jump in right now? How to nurture leads, doing all this work to generate leads. I mean, most of it is covered in keep a list and continue the conversation. It's on you to keep the conversation going. My oldest child, bless him, is autistic and often struggles in social situations, but he just adores people who keep the conversation going. He's got a cousin called Oscar who's tremendously socially adept and a few years older and has that associated glamour. And my son says, oh God, I would love to be as good at talking as Oscar. It's on you to keep the conversation going. So continue the conversation in comments, continue the conversation in DMs, engage on their content profiles. If somebody's engaging with all your content, return the favor, thank them for it. Go over to their content and profile and engage on their stuff. Send them links to interesting stuff you find. Invite them to future events personally, make them offers. I mean, we're talking about small numbers of people here. So, don't pretend that you're going to be overwhelmed and it's too much and you can't keep on top of it. This is a basic record keeping activity. Because, if you're having 70 conversations, in my CRM, there's I don't know, between 70 and 80 live conversations in the past 28 days. But a lot of those, I can literally paste the same next part of the conversation in. I don't have to imagine it from scratch for every single person, right? So it's on you to keep the conversation going. Oh, look at my timing, 5 to 8. Could I have timed this even more perfectly?